So we have an update on that horrible incident in Waukesha, Wisconsin. 5 people dead, more than 40 injured after someone plowed into a holiday parade in an SUV on Sunday. But now that man is in custody after the incident. He's being identified, whatever his name is, who cares, 39-year-old Milwaukee man with a criminal history dating back to 1999 that includes numerous violent felonies. I'll just give you a taste. Fox News reports that this man has a long rap sheet and a number of pending cases. Most recent court appearance from November 5th for charges including reckless endangerment, battery, domestic abuse, resisting arrest, jumping bail. He was out, by the way, on $1,000 bail for those charges at the time of the attack. And in July of last year, police charged him with 3 other felonies, including reckless endangerment and being a felon in possession of a firearm. He's also listed as a registered sex offender in Nevada. The guy's rap sheet goes on forever. There is, I have a piece of video. It's not of him plowing into the crowd, but this does give you a sense of, the street is empty. People are on the side, and watch as you just see this SUV fly by with sound.
Yeah, it's sad.
Stunned.
It's horrific, and kids and everything. I mean, it's crazy. It's crazy.
Yeah.
So we're in this weird time where we're talking about reform, prison reform, bail reform, police and this and that. It's all like reform.
Right.
And then the argument goes of these guys are low-level drug offenders. They put them in the hole. They throw the key away. And then there's another side where the guys have been arrested 71 times, lots of violence, and they're in and they're out immediately. Can we just agree that if there's a lot of violence and multiple acts of violence,
since the 90s,
we will then keep those guys in?
That'd be great.
Whatever we're trying to do, it doesn't really count for people that are super violent. So we all, look, whether it's you, me, Mark Garrigus, or Kim Kardashian, we all agree no one wants nonviolent people locked up for lower level or even medium or large level, like drug offenses or things like that. Okay, good. We got that. But it will go case by case because there's a shitload of violence in these people's past. Then whatever color they are, we would like them locked away.
Yeah. And $1,000 bail, ironically, for jumping bail.
Right.
Pretty interesting. We're not done with this conversation, unfortunately. I know you guys talked about this a little yesterday. There is so much more to add. The Daily Mail reports that the San Francisco Bay Area has been hit by a 3rd day of looting, with a gang of thieves filmed doing a smash and grab at a jewelry store. I know you talked about Louis Vuitton and Nordstrom. Well,
let me say this about criminals. Their whole MO is they're opportunistic. They're just opportunistic.
Right.
They have their goal isn't being evil. Their goal is getting away with shit and not being
taking
caught.
Things that are valuable.
Right.
So the way they catch guys who steal cars is they have a bait car.
Right.
They don't make them hotwire the car. They leave the keys in the car.
The best show ever.
I know. The part I love about it is they are, by law, have to put a thing on the dashboard that says you're being filmed. Like we have to inform you that you are being filmed right now, which I always think is comical. Oh, I should get one of those for my car.
You should.
Everyone should have one of those for their car. Just put on the dash.
Yeah.
Oh, savvy.
Looking like a bait car. But they walk by a whole bunch of cars that are locked and they don't have the keys left in the ignition. And then they get to the bait car and then they open that door. It's unlocked and there's keys in the ignition because it's easier.
Right.
And then
they find your car at LAX with the key on the tire.
Something's up.
They always talk about, when there's a blackout in New York City and it's crime wave because there's been a blackout. Yeah, because it's easier for these guys to get about when there's a 24-hour, 48-hour blackout. So you're going to make it easier, then they're going to look for opportunities to commit crimes. That's how all this works. And by the way, Dawson, somebody tweeted me and said that the cops that were bashing on the window of the Mustang.
Oh, yeah.
Someone said that was Walnut Creek or something.
That
and
was-
not
No, that
San
was Louis
Francisco?
Vuitton. That was in San Francisco.
Oh,
That was
okay.
outside of
Nordstrom's
Union
Walnut
Square.
Creek.
Well, you're the news guy.
Wait a
The
second.
new newsman
No,
around.
they're
I don't
wrong.
like this. So let me just tell you what else happened. The robbers, there was like 40, 50 teenagers. They entered the mall. They carried hammers. They smashed display cases. Also on Sunday, they're being filmed from another retail store across the way. They are, all in hoodies and sweats and just smash and grabbing and running. Sunday, another gang of looters took off with a bunch of Lululemon stuff at a San Jose store. And then on Saturday, the Daily Mail says that robbers caught on security camera that were stealing prescriptions from a pharmacy in Oakland. This is piggybacking on the stories you guys talked
all
about.
connected. Don't you guys
Indeed.
understand it's all connected?
Yes.
It's, the Rittenhouse thing. Nobody's putting that. Why isn't anybody connecting that this kid, shot 3 people, killed 2 of them, was acquitted, on Friday? This happened on Saturday?
Through the weekend.
Like the day after? Yeah. And wasn't that the same town?
The first one in Waukesha, Wisconsin, that was in Wisconsin. The rest were in
So it's kind
San
of close,
Francisco.
but I think it's all connected. Listen, this is just the beginning. The world is going crazy, and it's when you don't have money. Listen, I never, when I was a kid, if I wanted a jacket or a pair of jeans, I'd steal it. I'd go in a store and steal it. I was very good at it. And I paid my debt to society as a result of it. But I think it's connected. I think there's so much rage. I don't care what side of the aisle you're on. There's so much rage. And I think what we got to get back to, because we got to tar and feather people. You get somebody.
Hold on.
And you tar and feather them.
Who are we tar and feathering?
The guy that got off on $1,000 bail. I think that they should have tarred and feathered him for his last crime and put him in the town square for several hours on a rail
in the stocks,
and then he wouldn't do it again. The other thing that I think is very important with all the lying going on, they call it fake news. They call it fake news. It's manipulation and lies. So what I want to do is when somebody lies, I want to say, sir, I want to hit them with my white glove, and I'm going to say, you're a liar, and I challenge you to a duel. Everybody loves Hamilton. Go see that play, right?
Yep.
We got to start dueling again at 7 a.m.
Finger on
on
the
high
pulse.
ground, yeah.
People are going to, you're going to think twice about lying.
I agree. First off, I feel like we're in Spillikin Corners of Knott's Berry Farm. People need to tan leather. They need to shoe horses. They need to throw pottery on
Churn
a
their own
wheel.
butter.
Churn their own butter. We get the stocks. We
I
tar and
think
feather
because
them. We
maybe
challenge
I'm
them to
rereading
duels.
Huckleberry Finn right now. Maybe that's why I'm coming up with these ideas.
That's great. Well, I think you're right. And that you're speaking more macro, a little more micro, on the West Coast, we've all been sort of informed that this type of activity more common in the Bay Area since California state law downgraded theft of property less than $950 to a misdemeanor. It was a felony. Now it's a misdemeanor. So store staff and security don't pursue. Well, maybe I shouldn't announce this, but they tend not to pursue thieves who've taken anything worth less than $1,000 for that reason.
Yeah, and also, again, thieves, they know which way the wind is blowing. They know you call the cops and you say, my laptop is stolen. The cops go, you're on your own.
Right.
Why not get in the laptop stealing business if you're on your own?
But if you go into Louis Vuitton and you rob a $2,000 wallet, right? Bottom line is, it only costs 25 cents to make it.
That's right.
And
That's right.
all that stuff's got to start ending up somewhere, right? eBay.
Yeah, and they got insurance, right? That store that they just got, they have insurance. So we pay. Our insurance goes up.
Yeah, I just added $20 to my Louis Vuitton clutch. I was eyeballing over the weekend.
Well, and just to sort of dovetail into this next story, and then we'll move on to other things. The University of California, Davis, UC Davis as it's known, has announced plans to undergo a defunding of its police department and will eliminate 3 vacant officer positions. This is according to Fox News. The university also said 3 other officer positions have been repurposed. I'll tell you what the purpose is. The new positions are a public safety policy analyst in student affairs, an analyst position to support data, accreditation, and transparency efforts within the police department, and a new position dedicated to the Health 34 initiative. That's a mouthful.
All right. You got to find the lyrics, but I blame John Lennon.
Uh-oh.
Because we're reimagining police.
We sure are.
He did a lot of imagining.
Yeah.
And if you think about that song, Imagine, first off, it's a funny song because if you're on the left side of the aisle and you're a politician, it is your theme song. Oh. If you're on the right side, you hate it. But it's a good song. It's a nice song. It's really the message of the song. So his things like imagine no borders and no religion, no possessions, and it's great, except for no one goes along with it. Right. It's great in theory. This is every house should just have a windmill and solar panels, and we should power up all that. It's like, that's great.
Yeah.
But you got to get everyone to go along with it, or we have to be able to execute it.
Right. Well, what does he say? You may say I'm a dreamer.
That's right.
But he's not the only one.
He's not the only one.
Right. But a lot of people bought into it, and then we started reimagine. The last thing we should reimagine is policing. Or bridges or roads or anything. Like he wanted, I have the lyrics here. I told Chris one of those lyrics. It was also funny that first there was Imagine, and then I think the next was Double Fantasy. But he lived in a world where
constantly
people lived in harmony and they got along. And imagine what we could do if China would just sort of knock it off and understand that we're all God's creatures and all that. And it's like, yeah, except for they're not going to do that. And the criminals aren't going to reimagine criminality. You know what I'd like to say? I'm putting the onus on criminals. You guys reimagine being criminals.
If anyone can stop.
We just have cops. You guys are the ones that are busting into everything and stealing it. You fuckers reimagine
Adam,
your shit.
I have a brilliant solution. This is what we got to do.
Please.
China has got to nuke us. See, if we get they nuke us, then we won't be left right anymore. We'll be united as one again. Most of us will be dead, but at least we'll be together again.
Yeah, we need a common enemy.
Yeah, no borders
we need a common enemy, and it's going to be China.
Yeah.
Yeah, all right. I agree.
You heard the man.
Well, to be like, whenever they do those movies where the aliens are coming, the whole world sort of reunites. But now we didn't know we need to do that within the borders of the United States. We didn't picture that. We thought the United States would come together with China and Mexico and Canada.
And before I get off of this China tangent, please don't forget it was the corporations that took all of the industry in the middle of our country and sent the machines over to the cheap labor. So they created China. I worked in China in 1986 on Empire of the Sun. There was nothing there. I was in Shanghai for 6 weeks, and here we are 40 years later, and it's because of American industry.
Yeah,
we're all waiting for these container ships to come into port because everything's made there because they deunionized everything here. These guys want wages, decent living. So we might as well go to China or, Bangladesh and start making stuff there because it's cheaper and it's good for the bottom line of our a publicly traded company.
We're getting a little too political. Joey, what do you eat for Easter?
I only eat Union turkeys.
Oh, boy.
It's funny because I was having this conversation a lot over the weekend because my best friend's husband works for the government and does, everything basically on Chinese tariffs and stuff. And tall, lanky Jewish guy speaks fluent Mandarin. So if we ever want to talk to him, he'd be happy to do it.
Well, I think it'd be a good source, and I think that's going to be the wave of the future. I think we spent.
My son is a quarter Chinese. I'm wondering if he can get like a work permit there in China.
Yeah,
and my grandkids are half Korean.
I think we're done with Russia. We're moving on to China, and probably rightfully so. What else you got, Gina Grab?
All right, well, let's move on. LeBron James brawling, sort of. LeBron James was ejected from Sunday's Lakers-Pistons game after a little altercation with Detroit forward Isaiah Stewart. The incident happened in the third quarter of the Lakers game. They won, by the way. Both players were given technical fouls and ejected. I'm just going to let CBS Sports explain what happened.
Tempers flared in the Motor City. Eyes on the right side of your screen here. LeBron James, Isaiah Stewart got tied up on a rebound when the King took what looked like an ill-advised shot at the second-year center. Stewart's eye was bloodied, and then things escalated.
Watch this.
Pistons players and coaches struggling to hold back
And he's
Stewart
very
multiple
bloody.
times as he tried to get his hands on James. Both players were ejected. Once things calmed,
Wow,
the
bleeding
Lakers
from
staged
the
a
eye.
fourth-quarter comeback
Oh,
to
in
get
the
back to
mouth.
500 on the season. Here.
It didn't. I mean, we watched it in slow motion. It didn't seem to me like it could do that kind of damage, but apparently he really fucked him up.
He's 6'8", 280 pounds.
Yeah.
A little swipe's gonna hurt.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it's, the balled up bare fist from a big man. Also, there was that whole thing with Enos Cantor, what his name was?
Cantor,
the,
yeah.
The center for
Celtics.
The Celtics, who was launching this whole anti-LeBron James. We're talking about China. He had like a King James China shoe, and he's going after James. And I don't know, maybe James was a little on his last nerve or
Interesting.
something.
Well, and we've since become like a diehard Lakers house because the kid's into basketball and he's having fun with it. Didn't know this because don't know that much about the NBA. LeBron James, big flopper, really likes to make a big show of falling over.
Probably.
Yes.
It's a thing.
I don't get that. Like, wouldn't you, where's your dignity? Don't you feel like a
Oh,
jerk
please.
off when you do that, though?
You're also LeBron. You're gonna get every call.
But that's what I'm saying. But, like, it's not even, it's just like, don't you feel kind of like a douchebag? Like,
I think there's parts of sports like when the catcher frames the strike that's the ball and pulls it back up. There's some sports
The
that
wide
are
receiver makes a big thing out of contact when they might not have
I mean
been.
there's a flop. Sometimes the quarterback's a flop.
Sure.
They get pushed a little after they release the ball. Punters have been flopping.
Yeah.
Punters started the flopping,
That's right.
and their flopping is majestic because they're airborne, twisting
spun
around.
around.
They go like a marlin when it
pure-
leaps out of the ocean.
well, then maybe that's real. Yeah, that's more impressive.
There's a history of trying to help your team through things that don't directly have to do with catching, punting, making, it's
Okay.
like there's a finesse thing. A lot do it. It's kind of accepted, and it's part of the game.
All right. Well, Staples is getting a new name. I think y'all know this by now. They just keep sounding less and less charming, and then we get used to it, and the next one sounds even weirder. So goodbye, Staples. Starting Christmas Day, the home of the Lakers and Clippers will be renamed Crypto.com Arena. They're paying $700 million for the naming rights for the next 20 years, believed to be the richest naming rights deal in sports history. So you're going to
Ironically, they're paying for it in cash.
That's funny.
No, I'm 100% serious.
That's good. But it's like you're going to go catch a concert at crypto.com. Like, it's not.
Yeah, Staples isn't exactly glorious
that's what I'm
either.
saying.
Makes
You
me
get-
think of weird surgery.
Right. You get used to the charm of it. Like when you went to Kansas City and you performed at Arvest Bank Theater. I go, you mean the majestic Midland?
Yes.
Ugh.
Yeah. No, I agree.
Yeah, but by the way,
Yeah.
guys, don't forget it didn't work out too well for Staples. I mean, they do that because they think it's going to be good for business. They went out of business.
That's a good point.
It's a good point.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, crypto's probably got legs more than the office supply place that everyone's. But yes.
Did I ever tell you?
I don't know about that, but it may be prophetic if crypto blows up and they got 18 years left on the lease that they already paid for.
Good
Yeah.
point. Did I ever
Wait,
tell you guys that I went to the first, actually, I think it was the second concert ever at Staples Center. Chris can maybe look this up. I think the first was U2, and I think the second was Bruce Springsteen. I'm a Springsteen
familiar.
fan. So I went to Springsteen, and he, I don't know if you know this about the man, he does a lot of talking between songs.
What?
Yeah, he doesn't like the acoustics of it.
I don't know about that. All I know, this was early 2000, late 99, whatever was built. And he went on a little jag about and you could tell it wasn't really well rehearsed because he goes, walking around here before the show started looking for Mr. Staples.
No boy.
I couldn't find him. You know, anybody seen Mr. Staples? And it's like, oh, I get it, because it's a
Right.
corporate thing. You hate everything corporate, but you're playing the corporate arena, ironically.
Well, I'm
Right.
waiting for public schools to be renamed.
Ooh.
I've been saying that for years. Like, you're not going to go to, like, I went to Shawnee Mission South. It's going to be Ralph's Food Club High.
Yeah, I went to Walter Reed, and he probably may have had some slave owners in his history or something. Cured malaria, I think. But
What have you done for me lately?
that's right.
But wouldn't schools welcome the money?
I guess I
For the
don't
naming
know.
rights?
I don't know. It is. I mean, look, you kind of look at sports and basketball and shoe contracts and high school
Yeah,
basketball teams and stuff.
I will say it's already creeping in, because a lot of most of the schools I can think of, which is not many, have sold the rights to their football fields.
Oh,
Oh,
really?
there you go.
So and
So we're
so
almost
field,
there.
Tom Brady Field or whatever. You know, you pay $100,000 and
Really?
Yes.
Well, I guess if Bette Midler can adopt a highway,
That's right.
then Tom Brady can adopt a football field. All right, let's do one more, Gina Grab.
Okay. Well, Joe, here's something you might want to get in on. I'd certainly love to see you in it.
In 1999, Bruce was the first act to perform at
There
the
you go.
I
Staples
was
Center.
there, dude.
Blockbuster has risen back from the dead thanks to Netflix, which is planning to revive the store as a sitcom. The streaming service, which helped kill the movie rental place in the first place, will produce a 10-episode single-camera workplace comedy starring Randall Park. You've seen him. He's in there, Fresh Off the Boat, WandaVision.
10 camera?
Single camera, 10 episodes.
Oh, sorry. Okay.
Yeah, and he's been in a bunch of
More
stuff.
cameras.
The show is set to it's set in the last remaining Blockbuster video store, like in the country. And of course, many remember that Netflix started as a rental chain that nearly went under in 2000.
Did Netflix run that doc
Yeah.
on the last
watched it.
Blockbuster?
Yeah,
So
they
maybe
were the
this
one
is
that ran it.
based on that or the success of that.
Yeah, so 10 episodes of a Blockbuster sitcom. I'll watch it. I'll check it out.
Did they cast it yet, or is this something else I'm not going to get to be in?
Well, I was going to say they cast the lead, but that doesn't mean there's not an opportunity for another kind of character arc.
Hey, can I say this?
I'm calling my agent.
There's, it's like whenever you talk to them, it's like everyone's getting into the content business. Everyone's in the content business. Everyone's making content. They're making original stuff, and everyone needs more content. How much more content do we need?
Yeah, we're saturated.
At a certain
think we're
point,
good.
I think there's
Oh, my
more people
God.
doing podcasts than are not doing podcasts.
Than are
Like,
listening.
at this point,
Yeah.
Yeah, who's listening to the podcast?
Right.
how much content do we need? There's more fucking stations with more shit. It's all good. I don't have time for all of it.
Let's just stop so everyone can catch up.
But I have these
A one-year
conversations all the time. Like,
moratorium.
everyone's starving. We need more content. They're paying
Right.
good money, but they need content.
Right.
And it's like, okay, how much content do we need? How much content can be digested?
Right.
How does the math work out? And then who is watching all of this content all the time? Like, I watch a lot of content, but I just watch like Sports Center every
Right.
night, right? But I don't branch off and find out what the Ring Doorbell Network has planned for me with this series or
Right.
that series. I get it. Everything that's made seems to be consumed at some point, but at a certain point, don't you think the math is not going to work out? There's just not going to be enough. We're not reproducing as a nation that fast. I think we're down on kids. Who are going to be these content consumers
Consumers,
20
yeah.
years
Why
from
do you
now?
think that telescope's looking to outer space? They got to sell content.
More content. Hey, Joe,
Yeah.
what do you like to watch?
Yeah, I'm here.
What content do you consume?
I live in a bubble. I watch the Criterion Channel or Turner Classic Movies because then I can't be jealous of anybody.
That's
Because
right.
they're all dead
You're
already. I just want to watch movies and be entertained and not say, why wasn't I up for that?
I do that with porn. I make sure they're all gone. The dead ladies tell no tales, Gina.
That's right. That's what I hear.
All right, let's bring it home.
You got it. I'm Gina Grad, and that's the news.
You're a liar.
Gina.
That was the news with Gina Grad.
Well, last but not least, there's Blinds Galore. They're having their huge Black Friday sale. It starts this week, up to 50% off of custom blind shades, and one of their biggest sales of the year. So you head to blindsgalore.com. You get 50% off during the Black Friday sale. Give any room an incredible makeover with custom blinds, shades, or shutters. You do it all from your home. Just take the measurements and customize it online with a Build a Blind tool, and you can see exactly how your blinds and shades are going to look on screen before you buy. All hand-built from scratch, delivered right to your door, created just for your windows. I have these things for my edit bays. I have my bedroom. I have my home. I have them everywhere. I have them here. And they make it easy to you can connect those shades, by the way, to your smart home, your phone, your Amazon, Alexa. They even have remotes. You charge them. You don't have to hardwire them. It is Blinds Galore, right, Dawson?
Blinds Galore makes it easy to get the custom blinds and shades you've always wanted in your home, especially during their huge Black Friday sale when you can get 50% off. Go check out blindsgalore.com and let them know that Adam sent you. That's blindsgalore.com.
Hide and Seek, the name of Joe's movie. It's available now in theaters and on digital and on demand as well. Comedian Pete Lee's going to return for more mirth tomorrow. And you can go to check me out. Just go to adamcarolla.com, doing shows all over the place. And the Carolla Christmas combo, perfect holiday gift. We'll have the signed Christmas card from the whole ACS crew and the 3-pack of Mangria. Go to CarollaDrinks.com for all the info there, and you can check out all the movies on our Pluto TV channel, 687 on our Chassis channel on Pluto TV. All the movies are there. Joe, always great to speak to you. Sorry about the technical glitch.
Thank you, guys. Happy Thanksgiving, and thanks for entertaining me. It was the best news segment I ever heard.
Right
Because
back
of
at
you.
you, brother. So until next time, this is Adam Carolla for Joey Pants and Gina Grand Bull Brian. Say it. Mahalo.
All 4 of Gay's children had problems with bedwetting, which led to more beatings.
Oh, that's how you solve it.
Gay administered most of his harshest punishments on Marvin Jr., according to Marvin's sister, Jean. From the age of 7 well into his teenage years.
I'm going to hug my dad when I see him on Thanksgiving for the first time ever.
Not too tight, though.
Yeah.